In a San Francisco warehouse this February, a robot called the Phantom MK1 stood under the lights in jet black steel with a tinted glass visor, and laid out beside it were a revolver, a pistol, a shotgun, and a replica M16. The man showing it off is Mike LeBlanc, 14 years in the Marine Corps with tours of Iraq and Afghanistan, and he says flatly, there's a moral imperative to send robots into war instead of soldiers, and that Phantom should wield any weapon a human can. His company, Foundation Future Industries, launched in 2024, claiming the first humanoid built for defense. Phantoms tested in factories from Atlanta to Singapore, but the paperwork is the story. $24 million in combined research contracts with the Army, Navy, and Air Force, including an SBIR Phase 3, which makes them an approved military vendor. They're also lined up for the Marine Corps Methods of Entry course, training Phantoms to place explosives on doors so troops aren't first through, and LeBlanc says they're talking to Homeland Security about border patrols. That figure gets murky up close. When Wired asked for a breakdown, Foundation produced 2 contracts inherited from Boardwalk Robotics, a firm it acquired months after launching, and 3 via the Institute for Human and Machine Cognition. It hasn't independently won new government money. It bought a pipeline and stamped its logo on it. What it does have is a megaphone, since Eric Trump is investor and chief strategy advisor. On Fox Business in April, he raved about robots that fist bump you and follow commands, said AI autonomy will change industry, military application, and hospitality, and called it a very beautiful thing. The family also backs drone maker X10 and Unusual Machines, which is why these stakes keep drawing conflict of interest scrutiny. CEO Sankait Pathak told Wired they're exploring some kinetic things, the euphemism for weapon systems, with an unveiling within months. Their master plan document goes further. Build the most capable humanoids, scale past $1 billion in annual recurring revenue, achieve fleet coherence, a network where every robot tracks every other robot's status in real time and reallocates around bottlenecks like a GPU cluster. Then fund cities on Earth, the Moon, and Mars. Unlike most US humanoid firms, which pledge non-weaponization, Foundation says its robots are built for defense. The metal's moving too. In late July, they announced an AMD partnership to build the Phantom MK2 on Ryzen AI-embedded X100 processors, chips introduced in January. MK1 units helped build over 24,000 cars in 2025. October brings a factory good for 5,000 Phantoms a year. Another next year at 50,000. Industrial units lease at about $100,000 a year. Defense units sell at $300,000. MK2 adds consolidated electronics, waterproofing, bigger batteries, a 175-pound payload, and cast-molded bodywork. Pathak wants $30,000 a year and says at 500,000 units each drops under $20,000. Then Ukraine. Foundation sent 2 Phantoms in February, and LeBlanc, who ran over 300 combat missions, came back rattled. He calls it a complete robot war, where the robot is the primary fighter and humans are support, the inverse of Afghanistan. Ukraine now launches up to 9,000 drones a day. In a war entering its 5th year at a cost of some 350,000 lives, where AI quadcopters attack Russian soldiers with no human in the loop once jamming kills the radio link. In late January, 3 bloodied Russians surrendered to an armed Ukrainian ground robot. His takeaway is that humanoids reach what drones can't: low bunkers, with a heat signature close enough to human to confuse thermal surveillance. And the commercial clincher. How many 50 cals does the US have? How many grenade launchers? How many Humvees? A machine shaped like us uses all of it rather than making the arsenal obsolete. The engineering disagrees. During Time's visit, Phantoms crumpled to the floor with an almighty crash more than once. Rodney Brooks figures it's over a decade before humanoids handle complex, unfamiliar settings, plus another 10 from demo to deployment. Perception collapses on new terrain. Manipulation, picking up a gun, is unsolved, and movement runs on 20 motors, each brickable by a glitch. As one Singapore robotics professor puts it, if you fall next to a baby, you know how to land without hurting it. Will a humanoid? Against that, one roboticist familiar with Foundation made the case anonymously that keeps money flowing. Door entry is where soldiers still die. Fallujah, the first Gulf War, Thousands of insurgents across 10,000 buildings cleared one at a time. He's surprised these aren't fielded already. The Army agrees enough to run a competition. X-Tech Humanoid took white papers last August through October. Finals run August into September, with up to $1.25 million in follow-on funding and $490,000 in prizes. 10 finalists at $25,000, then 2 baseline systems at $75,000 and 3 subsystems at $30,000, with IHMC among those still standing. The wish list runs from checkpoint security and CBRNE reconnaissance to seizing urban footholds, plus micro-air sensors launched from the humanoid's own body, 6 months of independent power, and counter-detection of thermal and optical signatures. Nothing influenced by a foreign country of concern may enter, which tells you who this is about. In China, none of this is a startup story, it's doctrine. At the 20th Party Congress in 2022, Xi directed the PLA to accelerate intelligent combat power on a timeline of mechanization by 2020, modernized forces by 2035, world-class military by mid-century. They call it intelligentized warfare. Military-civil fusion pipes civilian firms and engineers into military ends, so the PLA fields commercial tech on commercial timelines. And in 2024, Xi created the Information Support Force. The doctrine is human-set intent, machine-executed operations, with autonomous systems acting as digital staff officers that hold tempo as losses mount. The physical expression is the robot wolf. A CCTV series called Unmanned Competition aired in March, describing a leap from single soldier support to coordinated swarm platform. A shadow variant handles reconnaissance, a bloody variant handles target neutralization, carrying micro-missiles, grenade launchers, and 191 automatic rifles. A polar variant handles logistics. They hit 15 kilometers an hour, carry 25 kilos, take commands by voice, tactical glove, or a stick mounted on a rifle, and share a sensing network that acts as a collective brain. Underneath sits a supply chain America doesn't have. Unitree sells the commercial Go-2. Rifle-equipped variants appear in exercises, and tenders show the PLA buying robot dog services. The party named LiDAR a choke point technology in 2018, and Chinese firms now hold roughly 80% of global LiDAR sales. The Wolves fuse LiDAR, electro-optical and infrared cameras, and Huawei's Ascend 310B, running about 2 hours, 10 kilometers of range, 30 minutes submerged, and 20 kilos of payload. Tactically, there's a 3-to-3 setup, 2 Wolves advancing while a third holds reserve, with claims they detect, track, and prepare to engage inside 150 meters on onboard processing alone. Taiwan is the point. Xi has a 2027 readiness milestone tied to the PLA's centenary, and CCTV beachhead simulations show Wolves as first-wave assets, explosive-laden variants clearing trenches and tank traps, gun-armed units suppressing positions, others hauling ammo under fire as individual machines die. Though another CCTV documentary in October undercut all of it, robot dogs crossing an open beach got shot down by defenders. The showmanship matters too. At an Army Cadets Week in Nanjing last November, the PLA demoed a real steel-style combat robot to 13 countries, an operator in a motion-sensing rig, every strike mirrored in real time, plus mine clearers pairing AI vision with metal detectors and voice-commanded bomb disposal. Then, the software layer. In February, state-owned Norinco unveiled the P60, running autonomous combat support operations at 50 kilometers an hour on DeepSeek. A Reuters review of hundreds of papers, patents, and tenders found a dozen PLA procurement notices citing DeepSeek against one for Alibaba's Quen. Xi'an Technological University claimed a DeepSeek-powered system assessed 10,000 battlefield scenarios in 48 seconds. Work, they say, takes human planners 48 hours. Beihang is sharpening swarm decisions against low, slow, small threats. And in November 2024, the PLA tendered for robot dogs that scout in packs and clear explosives. The chip picture is messy. Washington banned A100 and H100 exports in September 2022, yet Reuters found 35 patent applications citing A100s from the National University of Defense Technology and the sanctioned 7 Sons, against 15 citing Huawei Ascend. And in June, the Rocket Force University of Engineering filed a patent trained on A100s. The State Department says DeepSeek has willingly supported and will keep supporting Chinese military operations. America's answer isn't only humanoids. Scout AI, an hour south of San Francisco, ran a February test where 7 AI agents planned and executed a coordinated attack. The Fury orchestrator got a last known location for an enemy vehicle and dispatched ground and air agents to find and neutralize it with no definitely further human input. CEO Colby Adcock says agents can replace the entire kill chain. They're negotiating $225 million in Pentagon contracts. Co-founder Colin Otis is blunter. Within 5 years, nobody will fly drones because it won't make sense. Hovering over all of it is Anduril. Founded by Palmer Luckey in 2017, the Roadrunner twin turbojet interceptor, a 360-degree soldier headset, jamming kit that debilitates drone swarms, and the Ghost Shark autonomous submarine already serving with the Australian Navy. Luckey argues there's no moral high ground in building a landmine rather than something smarter. The guardrails, meanwhile, are coming down. Trump revoked the 2023 Biden safety testing order on day one, and on February 28th ordered agencies and contractors to cease business with Anthropic, whose contract barred using its tech to surveil Americans or program autonomous weapons to kill without human involvement. Those restrictions match current protocol. The White House refused to be bound by them. Competitors moved in, including xAI's Grok, which also powers Tesla's Optimus. Representative Ted Lieu, behind the Block Nuclear Launch by Autonomous AI Act, puts it simply: we can't explain how these models decide, and you can't have lethal systems that occasionally hallucinate. Roughly 60 countries signed the non-binding political declaration on responsible military use of AI, and Guterres and the Red Cross want a binding treaty on meaningful human control by year's end, backed by 120-plus nations, with the US, Russia, and Israel stalling. Geneva's working a ban on inherently unpredictable systems and on biometric targeting, plus a mandatory stop switch. It reduces to 2 phrases: human in the loop, where a person clicks fire, versus human on the loop, where the robot runs itself and a human just watches. Guterres calls these weapons politically unacceptable and morally repugnant. Peter Asaro of the International Committee for Robot Arms Control calls it a question of human dignity, since these machines will never understand what they do. And if one kills a non-combatant, nobody can say whether the programmer or the commander is liable. Jennifer Kavanaugh at Defense Priorities adds the strategic trap. A Navy vessel breaking a Chinese blockade of Taiwan is a gutsy call, but an unmanned submersible feels cheap, and so does sinking it. The human cost of war sometimes keeps us out of war. So who's ahead? Agility Robotics' Damian Shelton says on heavy repetitive labor, the US leads, but China wins nearly everywhere else on manufacturing and supply chain. CSIS's Alok Mehta points at data. China runs warehouses where people work robotic arms all day, generating training sets with no US equivalent, while cautioning near-term military use will be support, surveillance, not frontline combat. ID Tech X projects a $29.5 billion humanoid market by 2036 shipments, near 1.8 million a year, an average price falling from $114,700 in 2024 to $37,000 by 2030. And DARPA, which ran the 2015 challenge where 24 teams drove trucks and climbed stairs, published an RFI in April that no longer cares about human form. PathX framing is the one that lingers. World War is bad, he says, but a Cold War is genuinely good because it forces everybody to innovate. He wants China to have humanoids, America to have humanoids, everybody to have them. Military tech moves in narrowing generations. Lincoln cranked an early Agar gun in 1861 and bought all 10 available. Machine guns didn't decide anything until World War I, and the first modern drone mission was 25 years ago. LeBlanc says humanoids will be in America's next conflict because you can't take decades when adversaries won't. Pax Automata, or something considerably worse. LeBlanc's own verdict on the prototypes crumpling across his factory floor is the honest one. This is the first flat-footed and clumsy attempt at how robots will fight our wars, and they're really just waiting for the start of the show. Drop your take below, and I'll catch you in the next one.